Samuel. Hours later, they discovered another journal hidden beneath loose bricks inside a fireplace. Unlike Father Elias's writings, this one belonged to the orphanage caretaker. The final pages described horrifying events. Children disappearing. Doors opening by themselves. Voices calling from beneath the ground. And one particular child. Samuel. According to the journal, Samuel claimed he could hear a voice living under house number 7. The voice spoke to him every night. It promised him secrets. Power. Immortality. But Samuel always refused. Then came the final entry. Tonight they will perform the ritual. Samuel has been chosen as the 7th offering. God help us all. The next page was blank. And the journal ended there. No explanation. No conclusion. Nothing. Only a single symbol drawn repeatedly across the remaining pages. 7 eyes. The visitor. That night, a storm gathered over Caligar. Lightning flashed across the sky. Thunder shook the house. The electricity from their equipment had long since failed. Only lanterns remained. Around midnight, someone knocked on the front door. 3 slow knocks. Came again. I know what happened to Samuel. The room went silent. Arv's heart raced. How could anyone know about Samuel? Slowly he opened the door. Standing outside in the rain was an elderly man carrying a lantern. His face was lined with age. His clothes looked decades old. And around his neck hung a pendant bearing the symbol of 7 eyes. The old man smiled sadly. You finally came back. Arv frowned. What are you talking about? The man's eyes filled with fear. Because you are Samuel. Lightning exploded across the sky. For a split second, the old man's face became visible in the flash. And Arv nearly collapsed. The man wasn't a stranger. He looked exactly like the boy in the photograph. Exactly like Samuel. Exactly like Arv. Then the old man whispered 4 words that froze everyone's blood. I died 100 years ago. At that moment, the lantern went out. Darkness swallowed the doorway. And when the next flash of lightning illuminated the porch, the old man was gone. But muddy footprints led into the house. And they were heading upstairs. The muddy footprints stretched across the wooden floor. Fresh. Dark. Impossible. Arv stood frozen at the doorway. The old man had vanished. Yet the footprints remained. Leading deeper into the house. Toward the 2nd floor. Lightning flashed outside. For a brief moment, the entire hallway glowed white. Then darkness swallowed everything again. Kabir's voice trembled. Tell me we're not following those. Nobody answered. Because they all knew they would. The footprints climbed the staircase. Step by step. As though someone invisible was walking ahead of them. The 3 slowly followed. Every creak of the stairs echoed through the silent house. Every shadow looked alive. When they reached the 2nd floor, the footprints stopped outside a room they had never noticed before. A narrow wooden door stood at the end of the hallway. It hadn't been there yesterday. Ria was certain of it. This room wasn't here. Neither was he. Yet somehow it existed now. As though the house itself was changing. Carved into the door was a symbol. 7 eyes arranged in a circle. And beneath it were 7 names. Arv. Ria. Kabir. Nikhil. 3 names they didn't recognize. One of them had already been crossed out. Nikhil Varma. A cold knot formed in Arv's stomach. The house wasn't choosing victims randomly. It already knew them. The room of names. The door opened on its own. A long, low groan echoed through the hallway. Inside waited a circular room. No windows. No furniture. Only stone walls. And covering every inch of those walls were names. Thousands of names. Written in different languages. Different handwriting. Different centuries. Some were scratched into stone. Others painted. Others burned into the surface itself. At the center stood a black stone pillar. 7 candles burned upon it. Only 6 remained lit. One had already gone out. Kabir's face drained of color. Nikhil. Nobody needed to say it. The extinguished candle represented him. And if the pattern continued, each time someone disappeared, another candle would die. Ria noticed something carved into the pillar. An ancient message. 7 chosen. 6 forgotten. 1 remains. The eye awakens. A deep rumble shook the room. For a second, Arav thought he heard whispers. Hundreds of whispers. Coming from inside the walls. Then they became words. Soft. Desperate. Terrified. Help us. Don't leave us. It's still hungry. The voices belonged to children. Thousands of children. The hidden truth. Arav searched the pillar more carefully. At its base was a hidden compartment. Inside lay an old leather-bound book. The cover contained a title. The Book of the 7 Chosen. Its pages were filled with names and dates. Every 20 years. Without fail. 7 people were selected. 7 names. All missing. 7 names. Gone. 7 names. Gone. Again and again. The cycle repeated. Then Arav reached the final page. The page wasn't old. It looked newly written. As though someone had added it recently. The heading read, Cycle, 2026. Below it were 7 names. The first 4 were familiar. Arav. Ria. Kabir. Nikhil. The remaining 3 names were blank. Completely blank. As though the house hadn't chosen them yet. Then, before their eyes, letters slowly began appearing on the page. Invisible hands were writing. The 5th name formed first. Mohan. Their guide. Kabir stepped back. No. The 6th name appeared. Father Joseph. None of them knew who that was. Then the final name began forming. Slowly. Painfully. 1 letter at a time. A. A. R. A. V. The room became silent. Arav stared at the page. His own name was appearing twice. The double. Suddenly a voice echoed behind them. Now you understand. They spun around. The old man stood near the doorway. Samuel. Or whatever he truly was. Lightning illuminated his face through cracks in the ceiling. He looked exhausted. Broken. Haunted. I was the 7th soul in 1926, he said quietly. You died. Samuel nodded. Yes. Then how are you here? A sad smile crossed his face. I never left. The room temperature dropped sharply. The candles flickered. Samuel walked toward the pillar. When the ritual failed, the 7th eye trapped me between life and death. His voice shook. For 100 years I've watched it feed. Feed on what? Ria asked. Samuel looked directly at Arav. Fear. Thunder exploded overhead. The eye doesn't want souls. It wants memories.